Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Soap Lore, the official gathering place for newbies, novices, and OG diehard fans of the golden age of primetime. I'm your host, Jed, viewing and reviewing one of the soapiest, suzziest primetime storylines of 1981. We are viewing the iconic Dallas Season 4, Episode 13, The Making of a President. So whether you're new to this or true to this, sit back and enjoy. Tell the kids it's time to play outside or out of sight. Babe, no questions, suggestions, or concerns for the next 25 to 35 minutes, and everyone else in earshot, cool, quiet, or kicked out. Shut up, we need you quiet. We are watching our stories. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is Soap Lore. Hello, gorgeous. Welcome or welcome back, party people, to another fun-filled edition of Soap Lore. I hope you are enjoying these vintage gems as much as I am. Man, I really am. I know you're not supposed to have a favorite child, and I don't. But when it comes to the soap operas, I will just say this. Sometimes they make it hard for us to, I don't know what's up from down. You guys already know how I feel about Falcon Crest. I have fallen head over heels in love with Knots Landing. I'd like to profess my love today for it. But that doesn't mean that I love Dynasty and Dallas, I'm going to call it Dolly, any less. Especially Dallas. I didn't realize how much I missed them until I pushed play today. Oh my gosh. I had like to forgot, but the writing this season is stellar. There's a reason this goes down as one of the most iconic soap operas of all time. I do believe they shaded. We're not going to get into that right now. That's a whole nother topic for another day. We're jumping back in Dallas, Season 4, Episode 13. We are about halfway-ish through the season. Storylines are slowly building, but this episode, I don't quite know how to describe it. I feel like it's all about the women folk again. We're going back to the Ewing women archetypes, and we're kind of understanding what that means now. We knew what it meant at the beginning of the series. Now we're going to learn what it means circa 1981. So grab yourself something bubbly and bright. Enjoy it. Kick off your shoes. Just stop being so generous with your time. Tell everyone to get out. It's time to kick back. Let's jump into Season 4, Episode 13, Dallas, Making of a President. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Unfortunately, I went to go and edit this episode and discovered that everything past the intro has been deleted, so I'm going to have to do this off the cuff and off of memory. Making of a President, and as you recall, when last we left, Bobby decided that running Ewing oil was not his thing. Only now his new thing is running Ewing renewable energy. He's trying to get into the solar, wind, and thermal energy game. Jock is okay with this because it's still Ewing name, it's still Ewing energy, it's still Ewing money. He's all go for it. JR is high-key gloating. Like, dude, you were here. Why did you give up this throne? Bobby's all, well, I didn't really want to do it anyway. It's back to you, big bro. Making of a President is a very interesting episode because it's all about how undesirable JR has become in recent months. Back at the helm, only the original cartel, the one that he screwed over, they want absolutely nothing to do with him. We know this because he goes to the Cattlemen's Club to meet with this kid called Elroy. Elroy is from another cartel in Dallas, and he's one of those real yuckum types. Really from the country somewhere. He just says, you're a good old boy, JR. I kind of believe you, but I don't know if my daddy's going to let you in the cartel. That kind of guy. Well, Elroy says he's going to ask his dad if it's cool to let in JR. Meanwhile, the other cartel is now even richer than they could have ever imagined because that whole swamp deal went through. The one that Bobby was good about, the one they were going to let Bobby back into, only he didn't have the money, so he found someone else to step in for him. They see JR and they cackle when he's like, well, heck, had I been president of Ewing Oil, I'd be right here laughing and celebrating with y'all. And they're like, but no, baby, if we had a piece of lemon meringue pie, you wouldn't get a cut. You ain't getting a cut of nothing ever again in DALAA. Almost misspelled Dallas. In DALLAS, sir. See you later, buddy. This is also the introduction of a woman named Leslie Stewart thinks Samantha Jones from Sex and the City, without sex as a weapon, without sex being the upfront weapon. Leslie Jones is this high-powered PR person who's moved from New York to Dallas, and she wants a piece of the Ewing pie. She meets with Bobby, but Bobby's not interested, not because she's not beautiful, which he decides to tell her. You're very pretty, and you're really good at your job. I don't know why the pretty was a preference, but his whole deal is like, I'm trying to keep a low profile. I feel you, Bobby. His family's been doing a whole lot of ripping and running and ripping and screwing people over. Last thing he wants is any extra attention on anything he's doing. In his mind, he's like, let me go ahead and make this legit, then we can talk about it. Then we can introduce this to the world. But in the meantime, in between time, I don't want anybody to know. Leslie eventually gets a meeting with JR. She very easily convinces him that he needs her because, well, it's true. He has a tarnished reputation. This is her specialty. Let her work her magic and see if she can't pull him back into the good graces of the world, not just Dallas. Dallas may be done for him. Let's go worldwide. He's all with it. Only he wants to seal a deal with a good old fashioned rolling hay. And she's like, no, 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 I'm going to come up with a contract for you. Then we can do business. He struggles with this throughout the episode. He can't imagine why this woman doesn't want to sleep with him, but eventually he relents. Leslie Stewart is in the building. As far as I can tell, she is sassy. She's got moxie. She is extremely professional. And she seems to be one of those broads who enjoys a bad time. She's really good at being bad, I can tell. She's not going to do it up front. We may have a new addition to the Bad Girls Club. This is just a hunch I'm getting. And because I am presenting this episode after I've already recorded it, I have seen the following episode. She doesn't do anything outright scandalous, but she's definitely one to watch. Afton is still in town. Apparently, JR had paid for her and her mama to go to the Bahamas. They decided to use the Bahama mama money to get an apartment in Dallas. She comes to the office because she needs him to help her with her career. Now, she's more than willing to sign an invisible contract by lying on her back, so she does that very thing. He takes her over to a bar because she is a country and western singer. Actually, I don't know if she's a country and western singer. I think she's a singer. I expected her to open her mouth like the Care Bear from Knots Landing and be terrible, only she's she's good. I'm not going to say she's really good, but she's a talented woman. She will be a night lounge singer, and she will be staying in Dallas. And he's like, cool. He makes it very clear in no uncertain terms that you are now in my Rolodex. There will be no meeting in person. There will be no meeting for lunch. I will stop in. When I stop in, it's going to be what it's going to be. Bobby is busy, Pam is lonely, and Alex is there to pick up the pieces. That's what you need to know. Slowly throughout the episode, she decides that, you know what, I'm going to take Alex up on these lunches. Bobby is breaking promises left and right. Matter of fact, he's been gone for a full week, and she had no idea where the heck he was. A full week. So, as try as she may, the marriage seems to be crumbling, or at least going in a direction that she hadn't anticipated, so decisions need to be made. Alex is a very wise man, and he knows if he plays his part long enough, things are going to turn around in his favor, or will they? One person who is not suffering with the thought of stepping out and stepping on is Miss Sue Ellen Ewing. Really quickly, the first scene we see her in, she is in one of her many bathing suits. She's putting John Ross Ewing III down for his nap after he's been at the swimming pool in this inflatable canoe that leaves me questioning a lot of safety standards in 1981. But the most disturbing part of the scene is that John Ross Ewing III has a telephone in his bedroom at the tender age of a year and change, or two, however old he is. I was so jealous when I saw this scene because as a teenager in the late 90s, early 2000s, I never had my own phone line. Not one time, but he's got one in his room anyway. It's Sue Ellen's college ex-squeeze on the phone. He wants to meet for lunch. She's like, sure. She knows that JR is already sleeping with Afton, or he's back to his old ways. He's back to being the head of Ewing Oil. She knows exactly what that feels like. She is no longer putting up this facade for herself. She's still presenting it in public, but the facade of we are a team, we are in love, he's going to be a changed man is long gone. She's like, boy, we're going to do this. What time do you want to eat? So she and her ex-college boo go to lunch, but while they're at lunch, she looks across the restaurant and she sees Pam Ewing with Alex. He gives her a little smirky dirk, And later on that evening, before the whole family gets home, she has a little chatter, chit chat with Pam. Now, Pam is taking a shot of bourbon to the head. Sue Ellen makes a drunk joke like, girl, you look like you needed that. Pam's like, mind your business, Sue Ellen. Sue Ellen goes, I'm the expert. I know very well the difference between needing and wanting a drink. You needed that. But then she lays down some just wisdom Ewing woman wisdom. She says, Pam, I saw you at lunch. Don't even trip. I will keep my mouth closed. I ain't seen nothing. I ain't heard nothing. Matter of fact, I'm a little bit proud of you. Pam's like, what are you going on about? What are you talking about? Nothing's happened. You can't have a professional lunch. She said, listen, if you don't learn anything else from me, I'm not one to give advice. But as a Ewing woman, you either got to play the game and sit here and rot, or you got to have your own life. Pam snaps at her. I have my own life. I have a job. So Ellen said, I'm not talking about work. I'm talking about an entire life, an entire living, breathing existence that has absolutely nothing to do with your husband. If my man, JR, can go out and get love and affection from other places, so can I. And Pam's like, don't you dare compare Bobby to JR. So Sue Ellen lives in the same house. So she said, okay, girl, I haven't seen Bobby in about a week. Where was he? Pam tells her where he was out putting fires out at Ewing 23. Sue Ellen laughs. She goes, no, they have a guy. There's a guy who does that. Bobby's not actually putting out fires. Where was he? She's trying to put her up on game. She's not accusing anybody of anything. But she's like, I see what you did, and I'm okay with that. So Bobby does come in the room. That's irrelevant. Sue Ellen goes to Dr. Elby, and she's talking to him like she tells him all about Pam and this man. And his question is like, well, why would you care? And she tells him, because, in not so many words, if Pam has to do the same thing that I have to do, that means I'm not crazy. It means that being married to a person like that, being married to a man who's obsessed with business or other women, will drive you into the arms of another man. If Pam, who married the best out of the three brothers, is doing it, ain't no way you're going to sit up here and tell me I'm crazy. Dr. Elby's like, okay, but what do you get from this? Is this really what you want, Sue Ellen? Do you think you're backtracking? She says, no, I ain't backtracking. I could have been happy. I could have been happy with Dusty. I could be happy with, his name isn't Cliff, but it's something very similar like that. By the end of the episode, Bobby breaks yet another promise. Pam starts remembering something Sue Ellen said. So it's like everything has changed. They're not the newlyweds, they're not the lovey-dovey weds. And the truth is, Pam thought that they were going to move on with their lives. Right before JR got shot, they were in a little two-seater, remember? They were going to go to California, visit Gary and Valene, and they were going to live their own lives. They were going to say bye. But Bobby changed his mind, and there's nothing wrong with changing your mind. He just didn't let her know about it. So she feels away. She sees herself being isolated more and more and more. He was gone a week, and they still have not had any time together. So Pam is left kind of sitting with the fact that her marriage is not what she thought it was. And if she's going to be continued to be married to Bobby, how many more promises, how many more broken this and that? It's interesting. She doesn't hate him. He doesn't hate her. They're not outright fighting. And even if she gets a little bit heated, he just leaves. He's trying to get his business off the ground. He's building his dream. But good old Alex is waiting in the wings. So we have this sort of inverse of feeling. Pam is where Sue Ellen used to be. Once upon a time, Sue Ellen was a faithful, loving wife who didn't want any trouble. But then she grew to realize that if she didn't have her own thing, it was going to be a miserable existence. Sue Ellen is past the point of there, you can be redeemed. We're going to rebuild our marriage. It's going to be wonderful. She sees him for who he is. She knows that he's back at the helm. She knows he's back to ripping and running, ripping and ripping people off. So now she's going to openly enjoy her life. Consequences be damned. Now, the two other Ewing women, that would be Miss Ellie and the former Lucy Ewing, I can't remember her, what's Mitch's last name? Mrs. Mitch. They have a little bit of a cameo in this episode. We gotta talk about my girl Lucy. So Lucy's mother-in-law, who I will continue to call Endora because that's who she looks like, and it's easier for me to remember her name. She and Afton come by the apartment, and Afton's pumped because she has a new job, and Lucy's like, "Oh my God, girl, that's so much fun. What are you doing?" "Oh, JR helped me." Lucy keeps that smile on her face, but you can tell she's like, "Oh, JR helped me. We all know what that means. Afton may as well have said, I am sleeping with JR. So Lucy just smiles at her like, oh, okay, girl. Well, good luck. Miss Ellie, on the other hand, she has a meeting with another kind of interesting person on the show to me, Miss Donna Culver. I have to tell you all about her drip. She is a lavender dream. She is wearing a light pink felt Easter Sunday hat. All the hair is tucked underneath. I really love that look. She's giving Pam from Falcon Crest a run for her money. This light pink hat, and then it has a lavender polka dot bow. The polka dots are white. The ribbon is lavender, and it's like around the perimeter of the hat. I don't know what you would call that. But the outfit she's wearing is lavender, and it's all polka dot. It's like a skirt suit. So it's a blouse, a jacket, and a matching skirt, all of which are in a polka dot lavender pattern. Same color as her bow. Only the polka dots on the jacket are smaller, and the polka dots on the shirt are larger. It could be very busy. It could be very weird, but it is a beautiful 1981 woman's pimp outfit, and I love everything about it. So she's having lunch, I presume, maybe brunch with Miss Ellie, and you can tell pretty quickly that Miss Ellie is drunk. She is faded. It can't be any earlier than 10 in the morning. It can't be any later than about 1 p.m. She is schnockered. Donna Culver wants Ellie's group to support her stepson's campaign to keep this swamp thing going. This is a silent declaration. This is a declaration of war. Ellie is still reeling from the fact that Gary Ewing is never, ever, ever going to come back to Dallas. He is happy being a low-key scumbag in California, and that's where he's going to stay. And she's blaming it all on Ray. Now, I can't condone that. As far as I'm concerned, Ray is a child in this situation. Ray was perfectly lovely and fine all these years. Why is he a problem now? He's a problem now because she sees Jock giving Ray the sort of attention he never gave his boy. She's pissed. So as she hears Donna's campaign to basically keep this swamp a swamp, in the back of Ellie's mind, she knows that Jock is working to turn the same place into a resort. So she's like, okay, that's an easy yes. Cool. I'll talk to the other rich biddies in Dallas and we'll get you some money and get your boy nominated and make sure we can support him. She then goes home and Jock says, Ellie, where the hell have you been? She doesn't check him for cursing at her. She just, stumbles in. I've been where I've been. Because Teresa's been holding dinner for 45 minutes. I really wanted her to say, this is my house. Teresa will serve dinner when I say serve dinner. Teresa ain't different, so why are you? But she doesn't say anything. She just says, well, I guess we should go eat it then. Turns on her heels and wobbles into the dining room, and nobody says boo. I guess how could you say boo when everybody's holding a cocktail in their hand on their own? All right, guys, I have to go ahead and go. I'm sorry for the poor quality of this one. Again, I just deleted all of my information. But that is the long and short of this episode. We got Pam considering stepping out on Bobby, Sue Ellen confidently stepping out on JR, Persona non grata who needs Miss Leslie Stewart's help, and Miss Leslie Stewart is in town to do business. We just don't know what kind yet. Join me next time as we jump into Dallas, Season 4, Episode 14. In the meantime, in between time, save your work, save your work, save your work. Click that little disc icon in the corner and click it often. Stay hydrated, stay moisturized, mind your own business, and keep all of your drama on TV.